Okay, we're going to see how we're doing here. This is Facebook Live. What I'm trying to do right now is go ahead and stream this into two of our different rooms. I'm trying to stream it into the free credit repair advice group, also trying to stream it into the free student loan and debt management advice group. The reason I'm doing that is if I stream it from free student loan and debt management, you'll be able to share it with anybody and they will be able to see what's going on. Normally, you don't have the ability because the free credit repair advice group is a private group. It's a closed group. So if you want people to be able to watch this, boom, like this, you've got to be able to share it in there. All right, so I'm just going to tell Tiffany, all right, shared live link. All right, so tonight, what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about building credit, questions and answers on building credit, how to build, what to do, what steps to take in the credit building process. This is kind of 101 level stuff, but unless you've got the right foundation in place for your credit, you can make some mistakes and you're building on something shaky. We want to make sure that you are building on something that is solid, building on something that is good, high quality, and so we want to put that in place. So what I want to do is I want to welcome your comments here, comments and questions below. I think it looks fun. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm getting over being sick right now, you guys. It's been a rough past couple of weeks. I got a really bad lung thing going on, but I don't want to dwell on that. Let's dwell on the positivity. Let's dwell on building your credit, getting you in position to achieve your goals, to be able to purchase that house, qualify for that mortgage, to be able to get that new car, get those lower rates, consolidate those student loans. But when people come to me, they come to me with two things that they want to know about. Typically, they come to me and they say, hey, Jeremy, what can I do to clean up my credit report? And hey, Jeremy, what can I do to build my credit? And while the exciting part of what we do is the cleanup, the investigation, the disputes, getting negative items. Oh, you like the mustache? Oh yeah, that's, you can thank Chaz Earthram, one of our FICO certified credit coaches, for that. He told us we were doing mustaches, and yeah, so that's what we got going for me so far. My wife won't let me do the Charlie Chaplin mustache because she said it's not Charlie Chaplin anymore since World War II or something like that. So I got to do more of a full 70s style. But back to developing your credit, back to building your credit. People come to me, they ask, how do we get things deleted? How do I get rid of these negatives? And while we talk about that a lot in the group, it's important to know the foundations. It's important to know what will build your score, what will raise your profile, what will round it out, what will get you in position to qualify for the goals that you've got. Now, when it comes to, I'm just letting the room fill up a little bit, when it comes to credit, when it comes to what you want to do to build a credit profile, to add accounts to your credit report, to really do things, to optimize your cards, to do things that'll raise that score and get you in position, not just at all, but quickly. I mean, let's face it, we're all an instant gratification society, right? We want things now. Kids don't go to movies anymore. They're having trouble selling movies. If you've noticed, movie prices have actually been going down, not up, while they've been eliminating seats in the theaters, putting bigger seats. It's because we have no attention span anymore. Everyone's looking at their phones. So I get that. That's where we are right now. We're in a instant gratification. So what I wanted to do tonight was teach you the shortest distance between 2 points. What's the quickest, the fastest overall way to raise that credit score, to round out that credit profile and get you to your goals so you can take these stepping blocks forward. So what I want to do is I want to open this up to questions. Go ahead on the comments section and ask any questions that you might have. It's a Q&A. It's open forum. But what I want to do is I want to talk about a couple of things. When it comes to building the credit score, when it comes to the development, about 80% of the people that I deal with and that we at Credilife professionally deal with and that we see here in the group, in the free credit repair advice group. About 80% of you, your primary goal is to get yourself in position to qualify to get a house. What that means is getting yourself in position so that when you sit down, you fill out a mortgage application, you'll fill out all the data on there, and they pull up your credit and they make judgments about you, about how risky it is to lend money to you, or versus, should they give it to the next person. You're looking to be in a position that you can walk in, you can sign on the line that's dotted, you can qualify for the mortgage based on the strength of your profile. That's the accounts that make everything up, and the strength of your FICO score, your credit score, your lending score. So when you go for a mortgage, there's a little secret in the mortgage industry. It's not that much of a secret, but what it is, it's a core base underwriting guidelines. The mortgage company has somebody called an underwriter. It's a live person who basically, for all intents and purposes, has keys to the vault. They're the ones who get to say, yes, you're getting a home, or no, your kids are all going to live in a one-bedroom apartment. You're not going to get a house. So this person wields a lot of power. Before that, when you're meeting with your loan officer, such as Brian Kurzweil, one of our moderators, he's with Rubicon Mortgage. When you're meeting with your mortgage officer, they're going to run your information through something called desktop underwriting, or LP, or DO, or DU. They're all just names, fancy names for an electronic underwriting. And it's to see if you can get pre-approved, okay? After you either get pre-approved or don't, it can get what's called downgraded. What that means is a live underwriter has to look at this thing, okay? What underwriters are looking for when it comes to credit, the base, the core of Fannie Mae, of Freddie Mac, of FHA, VA, they're looking for something called a minimum trade line requirement, or minimum account requirement. That is a minimum number of accounts, a minimum profile to lend you money. It shows that you've been able to handle some credit, so they're going to trust you potentially with the largest thing you may ever buy, a home. So the minimum trade line requirement, the minimum underwriting requirement traditionally for Fannie Mae, for Freddie Mac, and for FHA is 2 revolving accounts. Revolving accounts being credit cards, open and active with a good payment history. 1 installment account, that is student loans, car loans, self-lenders, things where you make equal monthly installment payments until it's paid off. They want 1 installment open with a good payment history. And they want a 24-month credit depth. That's time. We can't do a lot about time. We can do things sooner rather than later, but these other things we want to address. Okay, so if you're coming to me, you're coming to the group, you're coming to me professionally at Credilife as a credit coach, or if you're coming to us in the group and saying, hey guys, I'm not hiring a professional, I just need to know what to do. We're here for you. This is what the group is for. We're here to give you this advice. We know that not everyone's going to hire a professional, but everyone's got a good right to good credit. And they don't teach this stuff in school. They don't teach this stuff in college. They don't teach this stuff out there. So you're going to want 2 revolving accounts and 1 installment account. So what does that mean? That means you're going to want to have 2 credit cards open and active on your credit report. You're going to want 1 installment account, be it a car loan, a student loan, or self-lender. Sometimes you'll see us putting up links for self-lender in the group. Okay, we're going to talk about revolving accounts first. Okay, revolving accounts, credit cards. They're called revolving accounts. You can charge them up, you can pay them down, you can pay them off, and as long as you're happy with the bank and the bank's happy with you, they can keep revolving forever. The reason revolving accounts are the first place I go is because they've got a major impact in the actual FICO algorithm, in the mathematical formula that creates your credit score. Now, your FICO algorithm, it's like a pie with pieces, okay? 35% of this entire pie, 35% of your credit score, your FICO score, is made up of payment history. Did you pay on time? Did you pay at all? They want to know that because, that ups the likelihood of you potentially paying them back. Okay, 35% is payment history. A full 30% of this pie, a huge wedge of this pie, is balance to limit ratios on revolving credit cards, revolving accounts. We're talking about utilization. And you've heard things your entire life, the best ways to handle a credit card. And you've heard them from, bankers have told you, and your financial planner, and your parents, and Susie frickin' Orman on TV, and the car dealer, and the realtor, and all these people, God bless, or whether they say down south, bless their hearts. Bless their hearts, they have no idea what the hell they're talking about, okay? You've been told keep your credit cards under half. Other people have told you keep them under 30%. People love them some 30% for some reason. Other people say you want 10%. Other people say you pay them off every month. Other people say charge them up and pay them off. Other people say open them and don't use them. And you may have heard one of those things before. But if you heard more than one of those things before, you know some of them are wrong because those are different answers. What these people, bless their hearts, are trying to tell you or trying to explain to you or trying to figure out is the perfect balance to limit ratio within the FICO algorithm, the perfect utilization on a revolving card, on a credit card to raise your points to add the most potential to your score every month. Now there is a zone, there is a region, there is a sweet spot that will add the most points to your score each and every month. And I know what it is because I'm FICO certified. I'm certified in the algorithm that makes your FICO score. But guess what? I'm going to tell you. The sweet spot, the perfect spot is comically small. It's 1% to 3%. 1% to 3%. So if you opened up a $300 limit First Progress secured card, or a $300 limit Capital One secured card, or a $300 limit card through your bank, secured card or credit card, that means you're doing a monthly spend. You want a monthly balance maximum and a monthly payment of 1% to 3%. That's $3 to $9. No more and no less. Any less, you broke it. Any more, you broke it. Any more, you broke it because you went outside the zone the FICO certified credit coach told you that you should be in, and that's probably not terribly bright. Okay? Any less than the 1% is not considered activity, and you need activity to actually generate the points, to generate that score. Here's the deal, though. We know this now. We can use this. You can use this today. Tonight, you could log online, and if you got money in your checking account, pay the credit card down. This is literally something while you're watching this video that you can take action on. You can have better credit in 10 freaking minutes. Okay? What you want to do is you want to get those credit cards paid off. I always say pay them off. Well, can't I just pay them off? We want a clean slate. We want a clean canvas to paint on. If I want to paint on something, I don't want, start off with something that's got crap all over it, and try to change it. That's called graffiti. That's not painting. So we're trying to paint a beautiful picture for this underwriter. That's that person who holds the keys to the vault and determines if you're getting that house or not. So what we do is we pay off our credit card. I don't have a credit card. Well, then you go open one. Go to your bank and open a credit card, or go online, get a Capital One secured card, get a First Progress secured card. I'll back up. You may not know what a secured credit card is, and that's fine. We're here to learn. A secured credit card is basically a regular credit card with a catch, all right? You're making a security deposit. They're going to hold some of your money hostage for a while to guarantee you pay them back. So if you walk into your bank, let's say you bank at Wells Fargo, and you go, I want to open a $300 limit Wells Fargo secured card. Wells Fargo will say to you, fantastic, give me $300. You give them $300, and they put it into a small savings account that you do not get to touch. That's security for the card. Then they issue you a credit card, and it's a regular credit card. It's got interest. It's got payments. You pay on time. That's good. You pay late. You're kind of stupid. God bless you. But the idea is you're going to utilize this thing. So you got that $300 limit credit card. That's where this 1% to 3% utilization will come in. So that's what a secured card is for those of you who didn't know. So we're moving forward. 1% to 3% utilization. Jeremy, that's $3 to $9. What do I buy? A tank of gas? Well, if you need a tank of gas for $9, bless your heart. But what I'm talking about is I like to set up a situation, and some of you have seen the video that Chaz Earthram, one of our Credilife FICO certified coaches, did on the credit machine. But I like to take it's a good watch, by the way, if you haven't seen it. It's on our YouTube channel on CrediTV. It's on our CrediTV site. It's in the free credit repair advice group. It's there, all free for you. Good information, good education. But what you do is you take a monthly recurring spend. I love Netflix. My Netflix is $9. That's 1% to 3%. I could do Dollar Shave Club, shave this crap that I'm growing on my lip off my face. That's $6 a month, right? So you set up something where it's the same amount of money every single month on the same date, reoccurring. It's automatic. You don't even have to think about it. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your checking account. You take your checking account, you set it up to automatically pay your credit card. on the due date. Okay, so money goes on Netflix, money gets paid, checking account. Money goes on Netflix, money gets paid, checking account. Money goes on, money gets paid, money goes on, money gets paid. Points, points, points. That's activity. Activity. So here's the deal. You're sitting back, you're watching the new season of Stranger Things, and your score's going up while the whole damn thing's on autopilot in the background. That's it. It is literally that simple to get a house. We've got Brian Kurzweil, FICO certified, and MLS licensed mortgage lender here, doing some moderation tonight in the group and just watching. He'll tell you it literally is that simple. $9 a month and you're going to have a house. You're going to build your score. You're going to round out your profile. It's not rocket science. Trust me, if it was, they'd never let me anywhere near it. I'd blow everybody up. It'd be a mess. But it's not that terribly complicated to build credit, to build that base foundation. So what do you do with that credit card once you've got it? He says easy as that. That's exactly what it is. Once you got that credit card going, money goes on, money gets paid, money goes on, money gets paid. You're watching Stranger Things and they're in upside down world or whatever the hell. My wife watches it. So what do you do next? Either cut the cut. Yes, I did say I'd blow everybody up, Brian. You're very astute. And if I ever do have the opportunity to get a rocket, that's probably the first thing that'll happen. It won't be intentional. So it'll be funny. So anyway, what do you do with that card after you've got it set up? You've got the thing on autopilot. Literally, cut the damn thing up. You don't need it. Don't carry it in your wallet. Number one, a great man, Groucho Marx, said, I can resist everything except temptation. He stole it from Oscar Wilde. All right? The temptation is way too much if you're carrying that credit card with you. Here's what you're going to do, because everyone does it. You're going to go to Best Buy. You're going to see this thing that's on sale, and it's amazing. I can't believe this TV is 75% off. Oh, my God. Tell you what, I got a big check coming up next week. We'll just put it on the card. We'll pay it off before it's due. Jeremy said, remember, 1 to 3, we'll get it down there. It'll report. Guess what? No, you won't. Nobody ever has. You're going to pay on it, and then the brakes are going to go out on your car. You're going to pay on it, and then dance costumes come up for your daughter. You're going to pay on it, and something's going to come up. Do not put yourself into that situation. Cut the card up. The other reason I don't want you to carry that credit card with you is quite simply I don't want you to accidentally stick it in the gas pump instead of your debit card and oops your way out of your newfound points. Because if we're going to piss our points away, let's have some fun doing it and go to the club or something. Let's not just stick them in the gas pump. So you set up that credit machine. You got your Netflix, your Hulu, your Amazon, whatever you got going on there, your Dollar Shave Club, your Spotify, your kids' ABC Mouse, automatically every month on that. I said 2 credit cards. What do I want you to do with the second credit card? Exact same thing. So we're going to have 2 accounts, revolving, open, active, adding points to your score every month. They're getting paid automatically on time by your checking account. Remember that pie, the FICO wheel, 35% of it is your payment history. Checking's taking care of it. You're always on time. 30% of it is balance to limit ratios or utilization on revolving accounts. And that's happening every time. Perfect utilization. Netflix is taking care of that. You have literally, in development stage, just taking control of 65% of your entire credit profile, your entire FICO score. You have that kind of control. That's the big secret. The credit companies, they don't want you to know this. If everyone knew how to manipulate their FICO score, FICO scores would be useless, and FICO, Fair Isaac, literally couldn't sell these scores to banks. Banks wouldn't buy them from them. They'd find something else. So if it seems like it's a big conspiracy and they don't want you to know how to do it, congratulations, you figured it out. I'm one of the people, Brian's one of the people, Chaz is one of the people, Rick Wenner's one of the people, Jared Haven's one of the people, Chris Kruger's one of these people. We have all gotten in. We gotten in this weird window where FICO was stupid enough to open up the books a little bit and let us take a look and let us learn and let us get certified. They don't offer FICO certification anymore. If you want to know, if we want to add a FICO certified coach to Credilife, we have to go hire someone who already has it because it's not available. That's how locked down this thing is, okay? So I'm teaching you these internal pieces that you don't have to hire Credilife for. You don't have to hire a credit coach. You can literally go do this yourself. You can do this while you're on the phone with me. You can go to Capital One and see if you pre-qualify. If you don't have a credit card yet, you can get that secured card, and you can put your Netflix on. You can watch your Stranger Things, and you set your check-in. You can do this now. 65% payment history, balance to limit ratio on revolving accounts. So we got 2 revolving, open and active, adding points to your credit each month. Now remember, I said mortgage underwriting. They have a minimum trade line or a minimum account requirement, 2 revolving accounts, 1 installment account, and a 24-month history. So we got our Netflix, we got that going. We have our revolving accounts. They're open and active. We're rock and rolling, all right? Installment account. I don't mean you got to run out and buy a car. I don't mean you have to run out and take a student loan or anything like that. There are some services or products available. One of them that I highly recommend is called Self-Lender. And I'm going to go ahead actually on this. Hopefully it's not going to be the world's prettiest thing, but neither am I. Oh, darn, it's not working. Tiffany or Isaac or any of you guys, if you could be kind enough to throw the Self-Lender link. I did an ad link earlier on it today in the group. If you could throw that into the chat here, it'd be nice, because then it'd stay tight to be with the video. But what Self-Lender is an opportunity to tuck money away for a rainy day and have an installment account reporting to your credit report. Okay, so I'm going to go into how this thing works. It's essentially a savings account that you make installment payments on until you've fully funded the amount that you were going to fill up. Okay, so you go into Self-Lender, and they've got 3 different options. One's like 50 bucks, one's like 100 bucks, one's like 200 bucks per month that you're going to tuck away. Okay, they make a loan to you in the beginning of this whole thing. They pay you pay 13 bucks to set it up and do the paperwork. There we go. Thank you, Tiffany. They make a loan to you in the beginning of this whole thing. And that loan funds this account. And that money sits there. You don't get to touch it. That money, just kind of like the secured card, that money is being held hostage, or it's being held as security against the loan. You're now going to make monthly payments, monthly installment payments, equal payments every month towards the loan that they made you to fund this thing. Once you've paid off those installment payments, it's paid off. That account becomes yours. It's like when you pay off a car, then you own the car free and clear, now it's yours. The same thing happens. So if you open this thing today and you celebrate Christmas, you celebrate Hanukkah, you can start a holiday account for next year. Put $1,000 away into the thing. You'll have $1,000 for next year. In interest, you pay, I think it's like 37 bucks for the year in interest. It's negligible. So you can tuck this away. You can have $1,000 for next year for the holidays. Your installment component built. And you've now got the baseline for the mortgage. You've got 2 revolving accounts. You got 1 installment account. And you're building that credit history. What about time? All I can tell you is do it sooner rather than later. Start today, start tomorrow, start as soon as you can. I know we're coming into a very expensive season, the holiday season. I know I'm talking about paying off your cards and things like that at a time where you're going, how the hell am I going to buy presents for everybody? But you're not doing yourself any favors if you stretch yourself out too far. You're not doing yourself any favors if you're not building that credit. I'll tell you what, your kids may love the shiny blinky thing you're thinking about buying them, but they'd like a backyard to play in a whole lot more. Your 6-year-old would like to get out of that apartment, walk out, not walk out the front door and have concrete there. They'd like to walk out their back door onto the grass and the lawn that you own, and they'd like to hop on their swing set and swing back and forth, or they'd like to ride their tricycle in the front yard, or they'd like to jump on that trampoline that you were able to buy. That's what they want. They don't want the blinky shiny stuff. Pay off your cards. Get yourself in position to be a homeowner. It's your dream. Run with it. This is achievable for each and every one of you out there. I preach. It's what I do. So I talked about the FICO wheel. I'm going to tell you the rest of it. 15% of your FICO score is time. It's history. It's the one thing I can't help you impact other than do something sooner rather than later. 10% of it is your blend of accounts. You've got revolving accounts. You got installment accounts. You got mortgage. One kind is good. 2 kinds is better. 3 kinds is better. The more you have, the better off you're going to be. And then the final 10% is super recent activity, things like inquiries. Everybody comes into the group all in a tizzy about inquiries. And I'm worried, I've got inquiries. I got to get rid of these inquiries. These inquiries are killing me. No, they're not. A credit inquiry, a FICO inquiry, while you can screw yourself over with them pretty badly, a FICO inquiry costs you between 5 and 15 points each. They stay on your credit visibly for 2 years. They impact your score for 12 months. So immediately, if you go on Identity IQ or Privacy Guard and you look and you see, oh, I've got 36 inquiries. How many are in the last 12 months? Well, 14 of them. Okay, now you got 14 inquiries. The other ones are decorative, okay? At the end of the day, it only makes up 10% of your FICO score. People come in, they worry about inquiries, when what they should be worrying about is balance to limit ratios on credit cards. Hell, that's 65% with payment history and balance to limit ratio. You know, think about it. Where's it? You know, where's it pay to pay attention? Where's the energy best spent? So back to the goal for the mortgage. Back to building credit. 2 revolving accounts, 1 installment account, a 24-month history, and as Brian Kurzweil, he is a national licensed mortgage officer. He is FICO certified. He said it is that easy because it is that easy. That's it. That is the magic. That is the secret to the base of building credit. Now you want to be in the 700 club and the 800 club and be able to do all these things. That's great. That's icing. But tonight we're talking about credit building. We're talking about the basics. If you don't have the basics in place, you have no business looking at any of the other crap. You have no business worrying about your inquiries. If you don't have 2 revolving accounts that are doing 1 to 3%, if you don't have 1 installment account, if you don't have those in place and you're worried about your inquiries, it's like rearranging the chairs so they look pretty on the Titanic while the whole damn thing is sinking, okay? Focus on the stuff that's important. What I want to do now is I'm going to open it up to some questions. That's really the base of what I wanted to talk to tonight on credit building. Questions and comments below here. I'm going to go into, we've got it actually in 2 groups posted, so hopefully I'll be able to get to everybody. Member questions. Dallas asks, how long does it usually take to start making a positive impact on your credit report for utilizing the 1 to 3%? Great question, Dallas. It is the very first time it reports. It's the very first time the card reports. Now, credit cards, they report to your credit. They report your balance, your usage, your payment history. They report to your credit on the billing cycle close date, the statement date, the date they make that piece of paper to mail to you or to email to you to pay your bill. A lot of people think that they report after you make your payment. That's just simply not true. They report on the billing cycle close date. So how soon can you make that happen? Well, if your billing cycle, Dallas, if your billing cycle close date's on the 15th of November here, and you're at 50% on your credit card, and you can pay that thing down to 3% before the 15th of November, that's going to report as 3% of the credit reports on the 15th of November. So 15th, 16th of November, you're going to see that impact. You're going to see that thing in 7 days. It's that quick. Good question. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to click a like on this just to know I addressed it. Don't think you'd be able to talk without your hands. Yeah, Italian. Isaac, what can you do when your credit is on standstill? Well, that's kind of the next level stuff I talk about, Isaac. Isaac's one of our moderators and a Credilife member. So for those of you who are in the group who use us, he's one of you. That's how he started as a group member and as a member of the program. And for those of you who are thinking about it, you can always ask him. He doesn't work for us. He's a non-biased person. He just wants to see people do well, and that's what I try to surround myself with and try to surround this group with. That was my heartfelt goal in founding this, was to give people a safe place. And I know I can be a prick. You've all seen it, but I want to. At the end of the day, it's tough love. Please take it as what it is. It is tough love. I want a place where it's safe for you to come, and even if I beat you up on it a little bit, it's because I'm really just trying to set you in the right direction. It's the meaner I get, usually the more important it is. I know that's awful, but I've got 7 kids, and eventually it's like wrangling cats. Anyway, Dallas. Or back on to Isaac, I'm sorry. Adding more things to your credit. You can open more accounts. Quite frankly, you can. You can expand into a retail card. You'll see many of us will recommend, many of us coaches will recommend, like the Finger Hut card. Finger Hut's a hell of a thing. Fingerhut's pretty cool. They've got one called the Fresh Start Card. Great credit development tool, you guys. Great credit development tool. And if you're looking to do the 2 revolving and the 1 installment, I do clear you all as being safe, assuming you haven't screwed over Fingerhut in the past, and they'll deny it. Being safe to go ahead and get this thing. It's sick. It really is cool. The Fresh Start Card, okay, you open it up. A lot of times they'll make you make a deposit, like $30 to open the thing up. And that's a credit towards your first purchase from Fingerhut. Fingerhut's a catalog company, retail company. You buy your thing. They open up the card, they give you a credit line. You buy your thing. People keep doing mad faces. I can't wait to go back and see who that is. You buy your thing on Fingerhut, and the problem you may be thinking about right now is, well, if, like let's say you got a $300 line of credit and you buy a pair of $120 tennis shoes, a really nice pair of kicks. You're over 1 to 3% balance limit ratio on the credit card, aren't you? Yes, you are. Here's what's cool about that Fresh Start Card. For the first 6 or so months, they're going to treat it as an installment account. Equal monthly installment payments. So balance to limit ratio utilization doesn't apply. They report it as an installment account. It is an installment account that after 6 months converts into a revolving account. So once you've paid down these kicks, you've paid down these tennis shoes, and you got that great balance to limit ratio, it's going to flip over to revolving. Suddenly you've got this account with a 6-month history, nice available credit, good balance to limit ratio, it's revolving, and you're walking around in sneakers. It's a win-win. I have a safe link for the Fingerhut that we can pull up from the My 800 credit slider. It's also a safe link that we've tested to get the first progress card here. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to try not to pause myself while I do this. Sorry, I don't have my normal energy that I have. Okay, if I was paused, hopefully I'm unpaused. I don't have my normal energy I have a lot of times here. But I have just down there, it says credit card selector tool, my800credit.com. We've vetted all the links and just made that site so you can go to them. You select rebuilding credit, you select secured cards. That's where you'll find things like the first progress. That's where you'll find things like the credit one. That's where you'll find things like the fresh start. And it's a safe place. It's not a phishing site or anything like that. We know that you're not getting routed through 90 different things. So what do you do with this answer? You just continue to develop time, utilization, and history. That's what you can do, Isaac. So if you've got the 2 revolving, you've got the 1 installment, you've got your fresh start card, what do you do? Then it's time to look at something else. Maybe you shop at Home Depot, get that. Maybe you shop at Kohl's. I hear they're having a sale finally since 1974. And you need Kohl's cash for the kids because it's back to school time. You can do that. It literally is, credit's just a numerical risk rating based on a history of repaying on lent money. So you have to borrow to do it. You gotta pay to play or play to pay. Is kind of how that works. Dallas, what's the best secure card to try for in 560 to 600? Dallas, good question. I'd go to CapitalOne.com and use their Am I Pre-Qualified engine. There's one. See which one I'm pre-qualified for. They do an actual soft inquiry, so it doesn't cost you points. And if they recommend the secured card, take it. If they say we can't match you to one, that means you're getting denied. Don't go any further, and then go over to First Progress. So I'd say Capital One's my favorite. First Progress is my next. That's that answer, Dallas. Karina says, yes, goals, backyard, absolutely. That's my mission statement in credit. That's why I created the free credit repair advice group. It's ever since I got into mortgage back in the beginning, I don't know, I wrote a story or just an anecdote. Someone asked me if there was a client that changed your life or made you know you're doing the right thing. Ever since I've gotten into this, I say the same thing. I've got my own mission statement. It's every time I do my job right, a kid gets a backyard to play in. That's it. Every time I do my job right, a kid gets a backyard to play in. And that means getting people's credit in shape so they can fund their dreams, fund their futures, get their kids out of bad parts of town and apartments and stuff like that, and get them out into suburbs where they can run around, or places with nice parks and things like that. So yeah, goals are what it's all about. If you don't have a clear goal in mind for your credit repair, it's an important part of the process. Honestly, write down your goals. If people like vision boards, make a vision board. Cut out a picture of the type of house you'd like. Cut out a picture of the car you'd like. Cut out a picture of a kid swinging on a swing set and put that up in front of you and focus on that. Makes it a hell of a lot easier not to buy that damn Starbucks, and instead throw that $4 towards your Visa card and pay it down. Get you towards that 1 to 3. Get your kid that swing set. It's not rocket science. Again, as Brian realized when I said I was going to blow everybody up with rockets, they'd never let me touch it if it was rocket science. All right. Answer this, Dallas says. Does my husband's credit affect mine? Great question. If it's his accounts, no. If it's your accounts, no. If you're an authorized user, not really. If you're joint, meaning equal responsibility and equal advantage, then yes, it would affect yours. But if I open up a Toys R Us credit card and my wife opens up a Kohl's card, and I always pick my Toys R Us card on time because I'm a Toys R Us kid and I'm awesome. And my wife goes for the Kohl's cash and never pays her bill. It won't impact me. It won't impact me. It won't impact you, Dallas. All right, let's see. How does this relate to the new Express audit? Will that tool break down how each aspect is impacting your FICO makeup? Great plug, Tiffany. I appreciate that. Yeah, we have the Express audit. It's a sick little thing. It's an automated thing that's going to analyze your credit report and break down what needs to be addressed. $30. It's sick. It's just unbelievable. And it's not a consultation. It's not sitting with a FICO certified coach who's going, okay, what color do you want the house to be? Oh, we know that costs more, so we have to, it's not going to be that. But if you don't have, if you're not looking to hire someone, if you're looking to do a self-driven, it is an absolute goldmine of information. It'll help break down what will best impact raising. It's got the FICO wheel in it. Will raise your score and things like that. Yeah, it's very cool. Installment and revolving. Karina does a question mark. Installment accounts, equal monthly payments until they're paid off. Car loans, student loans, things like that. Revolving accounts, credit cards. You can charge them up, you can pay them down, you can pay them off. You can use them again. As long as you're happy with the bank, bank's happy with you, that can revolve forever. Hope that clarifies it. If not, let me know. Renee Wells says, I am super financially strapped and can't afford the 2 revolving accounts, but I've opened a self-lender. It's slow going, but is this okay? Absolutely, Renee. And I'll tell you, if you want more advice in the group from me, we can talk. I'll green light you to just let me know, if you've looked at your credit lately, kind of where you're sitting, kind of what things are on it. And I'll give you some instinct on if there's any unsecured you'd qualify for, or any secured that have a lower deposit that you'd qualify for, just to get you on track. I have no problem doing that with you. Great question. Thanks, Renee. Chris, after your finger converts to the regular card, how do you keep the 1 to 3% rule? Not much you can purchase from them in that range. Excellent question, Chris. So Chris says, after it converts over, you're in the same problem. A pair of $120 shoes against a $300 limit, right? That balance limit ratio. Here's the thing. Typically when it converts over, they jack up your available credit to entice you to buy more stuff. So go to the clearance section. They got Christmas lights. That's a good one. There's always some stuff on there. There's a $30 bucket, like legitimately a $30 plastic bucket, like the Home Depot orange $2.99 bucket. They've got that bucket, but it's $30. Don't buy that bucket unless you have a $3,000 limit. Then go ahead and buy the bucket. But all right, Dallas says, so I got a lot of negative accounts removed from collections from. Oh wait, let's try it again. I've got there we go. So if I got a lot of negative accounts removed from collections, do I have any chance of them coming back? Yeah, absolutely you do. Here's the deal with collections and coming back and getting things deleted. Again, pardon me. Thanks for bearing with my sickness, but I missed a Facebook Live last week, and I didn't want to do that to you guys again. I want this to be something you guys can count on. Hopefully you find it valuable. So can a deleted collection come back? Yeah, it can. Here's how. There is a legal way that they can go through and give you all kinds of disclosures and notifications and bring it back on. They're not going to do that. That's not how it's going to happen, okay? How it's going to happen is this. you've got a credit card with Capital One. You never pay them. It gets sold off to Midland, one of the nation's largest collection agencies. Midland puts it on your credit report, okay? And you do investigations. You investigate the data, and they don't verify or they don't validate it in time, and it gets deleted because that's your legal right under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. The FCRA is if they can't prove it, they got to remove it. Not to go all Johnny Cochran on you, but if you can't prove it, they got to remove it. If that glove does not fit, you must have quit. So anyway, the thing gets removed. All right, so now what? You do still owe the debt. If you owe someone $1, you owe them $1. So even though it goes away under credit, the debt doesn't go away. So this debt is a commodity. I mean, this thing's got some value. This thing can still be collected on. They could sue you if they wanted to. So collection companies in the United States, typically between 120 and 150 days is what we're seeing now, will take and bunch up all of the collections that they have not been able to collect on together, and they put them together into what's called a portfolio. These portfolios range from $10,000, typically is kind of the low-end ones, up to there are million and multi-million-dollar portfolios are. So Midland's, they're trading in million-dollar portfolios. So it's Portfolio Recovery Associates. They've got portfolio in their name. So let's say Midland can't collect from you because you don't pay them. And then it gets deleted from the credit, so you've lost a lot of motivation to pay them. They can bundle that together with a bunch of other collections into one of these portfolios, and they're going to sell it to Portfolio Recovery at a little bit of a loss because they couldn't collect on it. It's less valuable. It's depreciated. Portfolio has every legal right to go back and put that on your credit. Okay? They're well within their rights to do that, as long as it's within the statute of limitations legally to do so. That varies by state for collectability, and nationally for putting it on their credit or on your credit, it's 7 years from the date of last activity that they can put that on there. Date of last activity being when it originally went into collections. Well, I'm going off on a whole different topic. Anyway, so what do? When you get some things deleted, that is the time to strike. You've never had a better opportunity to settle that debt, to negotiate a settlement. Because here's the deal. If you've got a collection, there's only a few things they can do. They can write you letters. They can call you and bug you. They can report to your credit. They can sue you. That's all they can do, okay? Eventually, they can garnish your paycheck, too, if they get a judgment. So if you have taken away their right to report to credit, they can send you letters. Who cares? You just throw them away. They call you. You can give them a cease and desist. They have to stop calling you. So the only thing they can do is sue you. You've taken away a lot of their power. Now, if you call them up after this and go, hey, will you take 45% on this $1,000 bill, this $1,000 collection with Capital One? Will you take $450 on that? Oh, no, we can't possibly go that low, the collector says. Go, oh, how about I pay you nothing? What happens then? Oh, it'll report to your credit, and that's where you can bust on and go, you know what, you couldn't even do that correctly. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about a settlement. It gives you a little bit more power in the negotiation. Why is it important to settle it after it's deleted? Obviously, it doesn't get bundled into a portfolio. It doesn't get resold. I went on that for quite a while. Sorry about that. All right. Eve says, okay, I was out of work for almost a year, and my husband was the only income for that length of time. Finally got back into the workforce. I was approved for an $8,600 credit limit. We were behind a little on bills, so I paid us up. It took $3,800. If you can help out there, how much would you recommend paying back monthly and still remain able to pay other bills? Maximize it. And if it's a line of credit, revolving, that you can use, and let's say you got $500. And you send the whole $500 to it, and suddenly you realize you needed $50 of that for groceries. If it's a revolving line of credit, you can still pull that back. You can still use it again. So I would say try to get it from a credit standpoint, try to get it down as much as possible. Throw every available dollar at it. Good question. The bucket has $50 shipping. Yeah, that bucket had $27 shipping. All right. Does anyone... Okay, if it's revolving, yeah, that's an awesome strategy. Okay, Dallas says, back to my previous question, I'm confused. So if portfolio gets sold to another company, yes, you could attempt to get it removed again, but it is going to show back up. It's a repeater, so it's going to hurt your score again. So you're going to undo all the progress you made. So the question becomes, do you want to gamble? Do you want to gamble that they sell it? Do you want to gamble that it shows up again? That's a question you have to answer. I'm never going to tell you not to pay your bills. Okay. Eve, thank you very much. Yeah, good question, Eve. I get that a lot. Hey, I'd love to pay this down, but I'm a little worried that I've got enough money to make it to the end of the month on a Visa card or on a revolving line with the bank. That's fine. You can take it back out. That's the point of revolving. You charge it up, pay it down, pay it off, use it again. Credit, that's what credit's for. Credit itself is so misunderstood, misapplied. Credit is for when you get in a pinch. Credit is for making a purchase that you can't just reach into your pocket and make, but you do have the ability to pay over time. Credit's for opportunities that you can take and giving you the options to take those opportunities. And quite frankly, pardon my French, but credit will save your ass. It will. Eve, I mean, tell me, having an $8,600 line of credit, if the transmission goes out in the car, that'd be a lifesaver. Let you still go to work, let you still earn to pay back the money that you needed for the transmission. So there's a lot of, there's a lot of good things like that. Oh, let's see. Drew says, thanks, Tiffany, for relaying those up to me. There are some I missed. And if I missed any of these questions, you guys, ask them again. I'm having trouble scrolling up far enough. Tiffany says, I defaulted on my loans over 20 years ago. Can I still get out of them by asking validation? Wow. What loans are they? Are we talking government-backed student loans? I need a little bit more information on that. Dallas, not a question. You're seriously one of the most helpful, kind-hearted people. I'm not a kind-hearted. Okay. Thank you. You're always eager to help. Thank you for what you do. Thank you, Dallas. Thank you for being a member. I get a lot out of this group, and I'm not just talking business. I get a lot of business from the group. I do. I'm doing fine. But, I mean, I get a lot like personal satisfaction and a little bit of ego. I'm a freaking egomaniac. Everyone who knows me will tell you that. But I really, it's my hobby. I mean, I don't know if it's pathetic or it's good, but right now, helping 28,000 people get their dreams is my hobby, and I'm really enjoying it. And as long as I'm enjoying it, I will keep doing it. So yeah, you guys keep me happy and keep me entertained too. And share the group, by the way. If you know anyone who can use this, if you haven't posted a link to the group and said, hey, you guys, you might want to join this, just post it on your page. What's nice is that's passive. It's not saying, hey, Bill, I know your credit sucks. Dude, you probably should join this. I mean, you can say that to Bill if his credit sucks, and if you're like that with Bill, but it's passive. People can just quietly, gently, click on it and join the group. It is a private group, meaning that anything that's posted in the group, unless you're in the group, you cannot see it. So if people want to share videos or share links from the group, the people you're trying to share it to have to be in the group. They have to be. And it's done for your privacy. We're talking about some pretty important stuff. And the fact that what I've created here is more secure than Equifax. The irony should be lost on nobody. All right, let me scroll back up. Defaulted student loan asking validation. Dallas, thanks, Dallas. I appreciate that, by the way. That actually means a lot. Chris says medical, evil. Oh, how do medical accounts differ and how it affects your credit? Wow. Okay, so in the new incarnations of FICO and with some of the new agreements made that were like out-of-court settlements between the bureaus and the attorney generals of a whole bunch of states, Jersey was one of them, California is always in the game, Michigan was one of them. Medical under $500 is basically, you guys want insight there? Okay. TransUnion has an internal policy that they just simply delete any dispute that you do on medical if it's $500 or less. You're welcome. But medical is not meant to impact your score. You didn't ask for a heart transplant. Or maybe you did. I don't know you that well. But, I mean, you didn't ask to get leukemia. I mean, there's stuff that happens to people. You did not ask this. It's not like you were being irresponsible and went out and got hit by a car. Well, you could have been. But because of that, they don't want it to impact, they being everybody who's got two brain cells to rub together and make a spark, they don't want it to impact your credit that badly. So for the first 6 months, it's not necessarily supposed to impact your credit at all. Now, these things went into effect really recently. Like some of these things were July of this year. So we're still trying to piece it together and figure it out, quite frankly. But according to what's supposed to happen, they're not supposed to impact your score immediately for 6 months. And then after that, they're not supposed to really have as much of an impact. Now, interpret that as you may. I'm still trying to get the FICO numbers on it. I know that's not what you were looking for as far as an answer. But yeah, med bills are tough. But yeah, little TransUnion trick. It's an internal policy. $500, you dispute it. If it's $500 or less, and they'll just delete the thing. They don't know you very well. Thanks, Scott. Hey, Toby, when you have a bankruptcy on your record, how bad does it affect your credit compared to the accounts that were written off in the bankruptcy? Awesome question. I love that. Okay, the public record isn't what hurts you. It's not. It's what went into it that hurts you. That's really the legit thing. The public record isn't causing you this damage. The FICO algorithm, there's nowhere in the pie chart that says, how do your public records look? It's not part of the contiguous plan that is your FICO algorithm. It's the accounts that went late, that were going bad, that you eventually had to go into it with, or had huge balances or over limits that went into the bankruptcy. So it's really interesting. I see people a lot of times, and we are a law firm. We're Credilife is partnered up with Prosper Law Group, and I'm actually a paralegal for Prosper. I don't float that too much, but law firm letterhead, hell of a thing when your burger's cold. You send it off to the restaurant. Anyway, we see people who go through bankruptcies. That's something that we see when bankruptcy is really the right option, and that's catastrophic medical and things like that. I mean, there are times it's really the right option. So I've seen many, many, many people that once that bankruptcy goes through and those accounts update, I've seen their score jump 50, 60, 70, 80 points because of that. So it is legitimately, Toby, it is the accounts, the negativity that goes into it more than the public record of the bankruptcy itself. Awesome question. Scott says most people don't understand. We as credit repair people have to have a $100,000 surety bond to operate. Oh yeah, try being part of a law firm too, because then you don't only have like the departments of commerce looking after you, but you have it's the Minnesota Board of Professional Lawyer Accountability, and it's the bar in Florida for us where we're barred there. And so yeah, it's if you're ever looking to hire a credit repair company, make sure they're affiliated with a law firm, or make sure that they've got, as Scott does. Scott's got a company. Scott and I know each other from the industry. He's reputable. When he's talking $100,000 surety bond, that's basically putting your money where your mouth is, that you're not going to make a mistake. And if you do, you got skin in the game. It's really tough to be in the position to give the advice we give on a day-to-day basis. Eve Armstrong says, so if I pay $1 on a bill, will it stop it from going into collections? No, it will not. They can still give it to collections because it's not a full, might not be a payment in full. It might not be that whole situation. So yeah, that can still go into, that's kind of a common misconception. If you send them any money, that it'll stop it from going into collections. It won't stop it unless you have a written agreement from them that, hey, this payment plan is going to keep it from going and being sold to a collection company. Tiffany says, Drew Spangler, I defaulted on my loans over 20 years ago. Yep, government-backed student loans. Can I get out of them by asking validation? You may be able to. Government-backed student loans are, especially the old ones, I have only come across a half a dozen situations like yours in my career, where people were, 20 years in. Depending on some different areas, we've gotten some statute of limitations things done. That's something we'd want to talk to you specifically offline about, because we got to do some digging. It's going to matter. It's going to matter how they're backed, who holds them. There's a lot of stuff. But yeah, actually, Drew, I want you to connect with Jared Havens at our company. He is probably the guru on the student loan. Everyone's got stuff they're really good at, or better at, in some specialty areas. Chaz Earthram, debt settlement negotiation. Jared is student loans. I don't know anyone who knows student loans like he does. Chris Kruger knows a lot of the laws that apply to the collections. Rick Wenner can tell you how to negotiate something to the end of time. He can put things into really this common sense area where, you know, asking about credit's a zero-sum game sometime. And me, well, I'm just, you know, I'm just good looking. All right, so what else we got going here? But yeah, please, Drew, reach out. I want you to talk to Jared at our company, just to see what can be done on yours. Thanks for great information. Hey, thanks for being here. Well-versed, honest person. Thanks, Scott. I appreciate the endorsement, my brother. Can accounts that went into bankruptcy be removed? Yes. Toby, everything that's on your credit report, from an inquiry to the bankruptcy itself, to an old address of a girlfriend that showed up on there somehow, to whatever account you got, to child support, to open judgments, to close things, every single item on your credit report is at the same mercy of Consumer Protection Law, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, or the FCRA. They have to be able to verify, validate, and document that everything's accurate, factual, correct, current, and verifiable today, not back when they reported it, but today. And if they fail to be able to do so within a legally prescribed time frame, it must, by law, be permanently deleted from your credit profile, gone, as if it never happened. So yes, the items that went into bankruptcy, routinely we get things deleted, because keep in mind that bank, that company no longer has skin in the game. They have nothing to collect by doing a bunch of free work to validate. That actually plays in your favor a little bit. Doesn't mean they won't, just means it plays in your favor. Great question, Toby. I love these. We get great questions tonight, you guys. Bashina, when a collector is collecting and calling you, what are the rules for them to identify themselves to you? Great question. That's FDCPA, Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. They have to give you the mini Miranda, as it's known in the collection industry. That's an attempt to collect a debt. Anything that you say will be used in that, and legitimately anything you say. You say you got a job, they're going to use that. You say you have a pulse, they're going to use that. They do have to identify that it is an attempt to collect a debt. They do have to identify themselves. You'll find a lot of people who are sketchy and won't do it. Depending on your state, they've got to identify if they're recording you. Some states require you to actually give permission to be recorded. And then you do have to identify to them. I mean, it's legit for them to ask you the last four of your social, because they don't honestly want to give your information out to someone who's not you. I mean, they're collectors, but I mean, they're doing a job. They legitimately don't want to have you get your identity stolen or anything like that. I mean, they are pretty straight about that. But they've got to identify the company they're calling from. That's an attempt to collect the debt, and that anything that you say is going to be used in that attempt. You know, do they have to give you their last name and how tall they are, and you know, their operator number and stuff? No. Some states will require, on a state-by-state basis, that they give you if a collector needs to be individually licensed within the state to do collection. There's some cases in Minnesota where that's the case. Then, upon demand, they do have to provide you with the licensure. And if you do demand, they do have to provide you with the license number to collect in your state of the company if they're operating under a large operation, like Midland, for example. Lynn Whalen Walsh, I've got about 4 credit cards almost at their limit. I'm getting a small bonus. Do I pay it all on one card or pay it all on all the cards? All right. Pay it on the card you've had the longest. That's your specific, Lynn, that is your specific instructions. I want you to pay as much of it on the card that you've had the longest. If it's more than the amount you owe on the card you've had the longest, I want you to then pay the next one that's got the highest interest rate. I could go into a really long explanation of why I'm doing this and saying this, but I literally just gave you specific advice for your case. But yeah, typically, here's a good thing. Remember when I was talking about the FICO algorithm, that pie chart, and I said we can't affect time? History makes up 15% of your FICO score. So think about it. Revolving account, payment history is 30%, 35%. Balance to limit ratio on revolving account is 30%. time is 15%. So if we pay on that oldest one, we've just affected 35 plus 30 plus 15. We've just affected 80% of the FICO algorithm in that one move. The reason I say the next one with the interest is just to do an overall cost of savings. That's basically a hybrid cascade strategy I just did for you. So that's yours specifically, Lynn. And the rest of you guys, I mean, you could use that same, you can use pretty much that same thing, but with 4 of them, that's where I'd go. Hugo, who's the good-looking fella on video? That's me. Or unless you're watching a different video, then it's probably somebody else. Chris, if you've got a judgment I was unaware of until last week, how do you address it? Okay, well, that's a great question. Bunch of different things you can do. It'll matter how old the judgment is. There are statutes that are limiting how long a judgment can be collected. Minnesota, for example, they can collect on a judgment for 10 years and they can have it renewed for another 10. So you could literally be on the hook, for that, that Capital One card for 20 years. But you want to get yourself a copy of the judgment, find out who it's to. If it's legit, go ahead and see if you can settle it. And that's like the first move, see if you can settle the thing. If you were a truly never served, if it's not your debt, something like that, yeah, then you want to go back and open it up in the courts, but we're getting into lawyer territory there. So I'm going to say check with an attorney. But number 1, check the age. Number 2, if it's your thing, check if they'll settle it. Number 3, if it's something you do want to fight, lawyer up. All right. Sorry for the coughing, you guys. All right. What else do we have? We got a lot of good questions tonight. Tiffany, Karen, American Express sent me an offer for the Optima card. Is it an okay way to repair the relationship with them? Do you have a bad relationship with American Express? And if so, what is the bad relationship? Like, what's the nature? Do you still owe them money? Or did you have something that's paid off? Please get back to me. Karen, I need more info. But I'd like to continue on that one. Eve Armstrong says, can old addresses be removed even if it's attached to a bill? Sure. Everything's at the subject. Everything's at the verification validation subjects. I mean, they got to prove you live there. So if you want to remove it, go for it. What if they give me my social? Rashina says, if they give you your full social, man, get that stuff on audio. You got a couple $1,000 coming. That's an FDCPA violation. So thank you, Jeremy. You're awesome. So your teammate, no, tell me, man, we love having you. Miranda says, how long does it take for a medical bill that's in collections to report to the credit bureau? That's a great question. It's literally up to the collection agency. Not everybody reports to all 3 bureaus. Not everybody pulls from all 3 bureaus. Medical collections, you will typically find, will report to Equifax. A couple of reasons for that. Number 1, Equifax was originally developed for hospitals to report and basically say who not to give healthcare services to because they didn't pay their bills. So they're the oldest medical reporting one. Also, they're one of the cheapest. So typically you'll see, before you see it on anything else, typically you'll see primarily Equifax as the reporting vehicle of choice for the medical. As for how long they'll do it, it could happen right away. It could never happen, and everything in between. All right. What else do we have? Addresses. Perfect. Tiffany has Hugo, kidding. In all seriousness, if I got $22,000 in credit card debt and a $21K car note, should I file bankruptcy and pay off the car? I work 2 full-time jobs and go to college currently. It's a lot of money, brother. If you can't afford the bills, you can't afford the bills. I would definitely take advantage of a no-cost consultation with an attorney, and I'd also say maybe call in, talk to Chaz Earthrum, or set up consultation with Chaz Earthrum, a no-cost initial consultation. Put up for a debt settlement one. he may be able to negotiate some stuff that can avoid bankruptcy for you. It may be another option. But he'll be the first to tell you if bankruptcy's probably the best way to go. He'll also be the first to tell you, don't do it, man. You're going to screw things up. It's tough really impossible to tell without looking at your credit and knowing all of your goals, short-term, mid-term, and long-term. That's one where I would definitely take advantage of a Credilife consult. Rashina, thank you. Thank you, Rashina, for being here. Nice. I needed the info, Shakina. Awesome. All right. Yvette asked, is personal credit different than business credit? Night and day. Awesome question, Yvette. Night and day difference. Okay. Personal credit is based on your social security number. That's how they pin everything to you. Personal credit, it is a history of your repayment on everything. Business credit. Business credit is a whole different animal. It's the wild flipping west. Everything's pay to play. Nothing personal, is just business. Here's the deal with business credit, though. When you go to get business credit, oftentimes they will make you, as the business owner, sign a personal guarantee or sign as a guarantor. And what you're doing there is taking it on personally and responsibly. So if the business fails, you've destroyed your personal credit. True business credit is credit established solely in the business name. So what you want to do is divorce the liability between yourself and the business. Most business owners do this. They've got their business, they've got themselves. For their own credit, it goes back to them. And for their business credit, it goes back to them. So everything's like that. You want to divorce the liability. You want your personal credit to be based on your personal, your business credit to be based on the business, and have a line between there so it's bulletproof. It's the same reason you make an LLC, a limited liability corporation, or you incorporate. So just like personal credit has 3 bureaus, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. Just like personal credit has a credit scoring model that's used by the banks, the FICO algorithm. Business credit has it too. They've got Equifax for business, Experian for business, and the big boy, Dun & Bradstreet, or your D&B report. And that's where you get your PAYDEX score. It's essentially like the FICO score. It goes from 1 to 100. 70 and up is considered lendable. 80 and up is considered excellent. Totally different animal. If you want to get into some business credit stuff, I can talk to you all day about it. I am actually one of the specialists at Credilife for business credit development. All right. Miranda Page says, I've got 3 credit cards. One's at max limit. Another's got a balance of 175 CL of 300. Credit limit. Okay. Oh, great. Oh, you're giving me your balance limit ratio. Sick. Okay. So we're a little over 50. We're about 60%. And then we're 50%. How should I pay? I want to pay the 150, 175. The max limit's longest account I've had. Pay the oldest one first. Miranda, you will be happiest with the results. Eve, I tried, and the credit bureaus told me they can't remove the addresses because they're attached to the old bills. What's my next? Send a letter. Don't call them. That's not how you do it. Send a letter just saying, hey, I demand you validate, with documentation I lived at these addresses, or I demand deletion. It's that simple. I think we may have some letters in the files section of the group, some sample templates that you can use. If you guys have not investigated the files section of the group, it's full of documents. It's full of all kinds of educational materials. It's full of sample letters that you can use. I always advocate that you mail letters to the bureaus. If you do things electronically or by phone, you give up a number of your consumer rights. You give up rights to litigate against them. You agree to mediation. You give up rights to get things back from them in writing so that you can prove something got deleted and they re-added it. Without that, you can't prove it. So always, 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 always do it in writing. Do I have to send it certified? No. Us professionals, we don't send anything certified. I heard that it's better if you print in blue or red or do it with a crayon or handwrite it because the computer can't read it and it'll get kicked out. You get a live person, things will get deleted. B as in B, S as in S. The e-Oscar system, the automated system that reads your letters, is perfectly capable of reading handwriting. It's perfectly capable of reading crayon. It's perfectly capable of reading blue pen. So there's no benefit in handwriting anything. The only benefit in handwriting a letter to the bureaus is if you're out of ink for your printer. Okay. So mail it in. Mail it in, mail it in, use the sample template. Okay, if we're in the group right now on the Facebook page, on a computer, the file section is here. If you're on your cell phone or something like that, up here there's a few little dots, kind of some more thing, and you can drop it down and files will be up in there. Someone tell me how I did, because I'm not even looking at Facebook right now. I'm just trying to do it from memory. All right, personal credit, different business. Yes, I thought so. The order to pay them off. Eve. Karen, the Amex offer to Optima is to pay off the balance owed and get an Optima card from them. Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah, green light. Go for it. It sounds like a fair deal. You know, they're giving you a second chance. Amex is not a big one for second chances. I'd say go for it. Eve says, okay, thank you. All right. You did right on. Perfect. That's awesome. I'm figuring out the social media thing, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're getting up to the end of this. I've been on for a long time, hour and 10 minutes. Wow, that was a lot longer than I thought it would be. Thank you all. Thank you all for being members of our group. I can't tell you how much it means to me. I'm just blown away every day to look at this and see 28,000 plus people. I started the group to post a video. That's literally why I started the group. And because I got kicked out of another group, and I was trying to post an educational video, and they wouldn't let me because I was a professional. I was trying to post a free video on how to fix your credit. And so I started free credit repair advice and had no idea that this is where we'd be today. A couple of resources for you guys. CrediTV, like our page on Facebook. Definitely like and follow CrediTV on YouTube. That's our YouTube channel. It's where we disseminate our videos. The video you're watching right now will be on YouTube, on CrediTV, but we've got all kinds of education. We've got all kinds of different things for you there, from how to do the credit machine, the 1 to 3%, to the actual class that Jared Havens and I teach for the Minneapolis Public School System Community Education Extension classes. We teach a class called I'm just totally blank. I teach a class called Financial Foundations and Credit for the public school system in the inner city to teach people who don't have access to credit education how to do it themselves. So that class is available. Everything's on CrediTV. If you're not active in all of our groups, we've got links up to the top. There should be a couple circles at the top of the group of some of our associated groups. We've got a student loan group and a business credit group for that business credit question earlier. Stick with us every Wednesday. We're going to be doing, aside from Spam Wednesdays, where we let professionals post in the group as a thank you for giving free advice 7 days a week. We're not all Credilife here. We have people from companies all over the country here giving their time, volunteering their time for you guys, giving legitimately free credit repair advice. So if you do decide to hire someone, hire us, hire them. You know, thanks for the patronage, you guys. Otherwise, share the link. Take the link from the top of your browser, share it on your page. Say, hey, everybody, if you want to join a group that's beneficial to you, this is it. Share it in other groups you're in. We grew organically. We grow through helping each other, being, you know, one mind, trying to come together and get everybody in better positions. And like I said, every time I do my job right, someone gets a backyard, a kid gets a backyard to play in. And every day I get to get up, come to the office, know that we're changing lives. So thanks a lot from CrediTV, from Credilife. This is Jeremy Deysach, FICO certified Credilife credit coach. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening.